Hey folks, welcome back to Sunset Falls. We're going to take a slight deviation from our road because I think that just needs a little bit more planning. You'll kind of recall at the end of last episode, we have our bridge coming over here. We want to kind of establish two or three main thoroughfares on this island, right? First, we want to be able to establish industrial or commercial traffic coming in from the mainland here, so to speak, and working within the industrial center here, or moving cargo out to the water port here, the deep sea port, well, more like a bay port, right? The bay port here, or the airport down here. So that's one traffic flow, right? And we acknowledge that there is also kind of a sub-traffic flow or subset of traffic that's going to be going from the industrial industry space. Industrial industry. It's early in the morning when I'm recording this, so I appreciate y'all cutting me some slack. But the industry space over here, over to said port and said airport, right? The second movement of traffic is going to be non-commercial traffic coming through here. So tourists, residents, whatever, regular vehicle traffic coming down through here, bypassing the industry space and going directly to the airport or the port space. You know, this is designed to be an industrial port, and I was going to have some commercial ports over here. We may want to see, it might be easier to actually build some ports into the airport space if we want to have like a non-industrial hub. Alternatively, we could use kind of this area where we put our ferry depot down, this ferry depot, Struggle City, do not want to be there. But we could essentially use just this as our commercial port, or do commercial across both of these, but then have residential here, have regular citizen over here. I think it might be a little bit harder to get to, like when you look at all this infrastructure here, that could be challenging. So we'd have to kind of play that by ear. But acknowledging that we will have residents and visitors who want to enter and exit the city via our water and our sky. And then finally, we have a third platform, or a third traffic route rather, right? Which is literally just going across here and connecting up here. Now, I don't know for how many people that will actually be the fastest route to just exit the city. Maybe this is for cargo that are finished goods that are going to be leaving the city that way. Or maybe you just hate Sunset Falls and you need to get out. But regardless, I do think we have to acknowledge that traffic flow. And what I'm thinking of doing is actually backing up a lot of this section. I don't really think this is going to fit with our port ambition anyways. So I'm thinking of actually backing all of this up basically down to here and then kind of curving this around, potentially kind of almost coming through the port. The point is, I'm not sure yet. And so what I want to do is actually today take a little bit of a break and try to get our train hooked up instead. Because what we can do is basically have our end game be the train tracks right here, and then we'll take care of them in a future episode when we need to hook everything up to the industrial space, right? So there's a few things we want to accomplish with the train. One, I do think it would be cool to actually keep this track sunk, and this track is literally underwater right now, so definition of sunk, I suppose. I hope that goes away sometime soon. If anyone has any ideas how to fix it, let me know. I don't really want to have to redo this, but I will if I don't have a choice. Alternatively, what I'd like to do is actually kind of keep this track sunk and potentially put a few sunken stations in downtown somewhere, because I think that would look really neat. But I don't acknowledge, or I don't want to make train our primary transportation source in town, right? So I want to keep that relatively discreet, which is why I'd like to go fully underground or sunken. The second train option is kind of winding our way right through our planned city or planned area here. This I'm more okay with, to be honest, in terms of I think we can just kind of have it go straight out here and along the bridge. That's really what I want to make sure we accomplish, is to kind of line it up with the bridge, go under this hill here, essentially, and kind of get it out here. And the reason I say that is because I think we want to hook it up to this line here. This line doesn't actually do that much, if you'll notice. It kind of just comes along here and ends, and then it runs all the way up here and out of the city. But I do want it to get kind of linked up to this main network. We also have this train line coming down here, connects up here. We'll have to figure out what to do with this. I think this could actually be an interesting spot for our industry, because it's this nice little area here, but it's also right across from our kind of larger space here. So we might actually want to back our industry up to do that, or actually move it over to a totally different area, potentially over here. That could be really cool. I'm not quite sure yet, which is why I've been waffling on it as far as where our farming is going to go. Actually, even maybe over here. I don't know yet, point being. But let's focus on what's most important right now, which is getting the space up here connected up. So I think what we want to do up here is just kind of look through our road layout briefly. And it looks like there isn't like a defined forward or backward too much, right? So what I actually think we want to do is pull this road out a little bit and then put a train station right here. And I'm just going to do it because I have a tendency to overthink this a little bit. And I think this will force us to actually go ahead and do this. So one of the things I might do is just make this a short loop. I don't know how essential that's going to be, but I know that kind of routing cargo traffic in this game can be a little bit complicated, right? So let's just make this easy on ourselves here and do that. And then I'm actually going to pull this road out because I don't think that we need it. Do we really want any through traffic going through there? I take it back. We'll leave it in just in case. All right, so let's pop over here, go to our train options. We're going to pull out our cargo terminal here, hook it up right there. This looks a little bit too big for this area. So let us actually maybe move this. What about like right over here, right? That's better. So let me pull that out, actually pull that. So I think we're okay. We'll just move this over a titch. Oh, just a smidge. All right. And now let's go back and fix our road layout here. So I think instead we'll have this come across here. And then, oops, just reverse that angle there. And then we'll change these roads back to, boom, regular. Oh, whoops, that's not gonna be working right. There we go, okay. And before we forget, let's go ahead and set our inputs and outputs. So we're gonna go up here, we're gonna leave the cargo train alone, right? Do not want to mess with that. But I do think that we will move kind of our regular response vehicles kind of just over this edge here. And then let's put in, oops, don't want to do that. Let's, I guess, duplicate this, pull everything else out. Is there not freight? Did I just miss that? Oh my gosh, we added all types of vehicles. Too early. All right, so we have cargo train, which obviously makes sense there. Okay, we want to add, why am I not seeing this? Is there no just regular trucks that go in here? Interesting. So it's just cargo trains that enter this space versus like if you click over here, glass manufacturing, you see cargo truck is a specific option. Disaster response and ambulance, yeah, that's obviously fine there, but there is no cargo truck here. That's super interesting. All right, well, we'll just see where they spawn. We have it there. It's not operating. Now it is. Cool. All right, so I kind of always envision this as an end of the line. So we actually might landscape over this. But you'll notice that there actually aren't a ton of end-of-the-line options, right, when it comes to trains. Even the regular cargo terminal is run-through. Even the regular train terminal in general is a run-through, right? So you really don't have a ton of endpoint options if you want to do that. So we might actually just kind of creatively landscape over this if we need to. Or we could actually just potentially run it out as a little bit extra track, right? So that's actually one of the things we could do that might look a little cooler. So let's go ahead and do that right now. So we're just going to run this straight out here. We want to sync this to keep it flat, actually. Oh, actually, we could keep going. Let's do that. I like that idea better. We're just going to assume that it keeps going into the wild blue yonder at some point. We're just going to leave it there for now, right? So now the next question is, where do we actually connect it through these mountains? My assumption is that it's obscenely expensive to tunnel through mountains to put roads in, to put train tracks in, to put anything in, right? So if we go through these mountains, we probably only want to do it once. So given that, where's the best place to connect? I am not a mountain man, so to speak. I do not know much about mountains or drilling through them, for that matter. But what I am looking at is, what is the landscape on this side? And what would we like to preserve versus what are we probably gonna have a difficult time using? And my eye is immediately drawn to the fact that this is a lot of nice space. We talked about building out kind of a resort town here. I think we could potentially do a resort over here and maybe some sort of maybe science or military installation over here. So let's kind of keep this space nice. There's this nice little kind of ruin here that we want to keep. Over here, these lakes look phenomenal. I really like the idea of putting some sort of farming area in here. I think that could look really nice. And even, I mean, this is just like so picturesque. Like imagine riding the train right through here. You have a lake on both sides, you have the mountains, gorgeous, right? So we kind of want to preserve this space. My gut is, what about here, right? You have the perfect ability to kind of run right down into the track line right here and connect up. I think this spot makes a ton of sense to me. I do think there's a larger question about how do we bring this train line over here, right? Because remember, this is where we're trying to get. I think this train line needs to connect kind of up through here. Could we do some sort of four-way connection right here? That is kind of the way I'm thinking we will go. But let's first get through these mountains. And actually to do that, we're gonna have to get over here, right? So let's think about this. Let's actually start with the mountains and then connect it back up. So we are actually actively underground right now. Okay, so we said we want to end right around here, right? I think we got to start on the other side though. All right, so let's start here. What does bringing this through look like? Right now, I think if you just do that, it just goes over the mountains, right? Actually, no, it tunnels where it has to. But yeah, we don't really want to do that. So I think there's a way we can force the slope to stay flat. I don't remember exactly which one this is, so please bear with me. Straight slope. It was actually just exactly as obvious as you think it would be. So let's say assume we're going to start right here. We're going to straight slope it all the way through here. Don't you love it when Spoke too soon. I was going to say, don't you love it when a good plan comes together? Alack and alas, that is not what this was. So, all right. Let's bring this through here. Slope too steep. Oh, no. All right. And again, just sync everything. Getting better, but still bad. All right. Let's try this a little bit differently. Okay. So we just broke it up into a few pieces. I mean, that looks janky AF, but other than that, let's just kind of pop this guy up a little bit, raise him to object height over here. Boom. Okay. So now we have a road that is roughly running through the mountains. It's definitely not too steep on this side. And I think running a train through the mountains. Now we just have to connect up here over to here, which should be relatively easy. I actually kind of think maybe we can raise this up, just kind of keep this going straight on this little plateau here. We can go right over the road. So let's see what that looks like. Actually, just run this right out here. And then let's kind of force this up and see what we get. I don't know why that's... Oh, it's upset about the power lines. All right, well, we are paused, so we can fix that right now. Whoops. Okay. Again, we just kind of want to maintain that straight. So what happens if I uncheck this? I see. Oh, man. Okay. I don't know why it's doing that. Okay, I see. It just raises this front in the end. Well, that's exactly what we don't want. So it looks like straight slope was definitely the right call here. Again, let's just lock this in at 180 and raise the whole thing up. And let's just kind of, all right, that looks a little bit like it's sloping. Maybe that. Does that look relatively flat? It does. It does. I like that. Okay. So again, we got to connect right over here. So I think we might actually be able to just kind of keep going, honestly. Let's, what does this gentle curve look like? Actually don't need that much curve there. Let's assume over here. Actually here, let's just go straight out from here. Okay. That's really not that. Oh, I see. That's going to stay up a lot higher. That's okay. We'll kind of get down that ridge there. Then let's go over here. Let's kind of pull this back just a little bit. Connect these up. I like how it goes over the road there, so let's keep that there. And now we're just going to gently curve this here. There we go. All right, I'm learning a little bit. The real question, though, is can we actually use this, maybe one of these rail bridges? This could look pretty neat. What does this look like? Let's upgrade this just a wee bit. Oh, interesting. How would that look going over here? Is there enough clearance there? There is. What kind of style? This is a European rail bridge versus a high-speed rail viaduct. What does that look like? That does look more appropriate, though, doesn't it, for this style of railroad? Yeah. Okay, let's do it. We can switch back to the nicer style when we're not in the middle of an industrial area, but I think for now, there we go. And I actually let us pull back on this just a little bit. And then what if we straight slope this? I'm curious about that. Okay, so let's actually back this up. I'm going to delete that too. And I think we go all the way through. Whoops. Go all the way through here. Really? I feel like if you're underground, it should just default to showing you the underground profile, but maybe that's just me. Okay, so let's connect up here. And then, oh, I see the problem. We can't straight slope it because Yeah, that's problematic. All right. So actually, what we're going to do then, let's just bring this through just a little bit here. And then we're just going to soften that up. There we go. All right, so let's try this again. Well, that was something new. Man, it's still going to do it. All right, well, let's not worry about this as much then. Pull this back. Don't do that anymore. All right, we've acknowledged we are coming out of this mountain. So let's set this back to regular. Let's go back to grab our train. Let's grab our fancy viaduct. And just kind of connect right up here. Oh my God, that looks hideous. All right. Ah, morning time. Should have known better. I mean, we can actually sync most of this. Oh, that looks terrible. Never mind. Let's turn off straight slope. Maybe that'll help. What if we just literally try to connect these? Nope, that's awful. Turn straight slope back on. How's that gonna work? Yeah, I don't love that, so let's not do that. Straighten this out. Gotta get up here and then connect. Yeah, and that's not good. So let's do a little bit of fixing here. Just kind of bring that down. And I don't know. So let's just slope this, all this. There we go. All right, that looks a little bit less janky. I still don't know why it looks like there's this whole thing. It's just a little off. Maybe let's convert this back down to ground track here. Let's see if that helps. No, it does not. I see. Just because the ground itself is a little funky here. What if we take this? Just lower this a little bit. That helps a lot. Okay. I think we are good enough here. Let's actually just slope this too. So we get a little bit of a cleaner look coming out of here. That's not what I wanted to do at all. Slope. There we go. Okay. Definitely feels a little bit better. So, all right. Last thing we got to do is make sure that our electricity is safely hooked up again. We can't run the power lines there, so let's actually run them just along the back now. Hook them up right there. All right. So now if we have pause, we restored our power connection over here. Everyone's happy there. And our freight terminal is running through here and down here. So now, again, we know this is going to be a temporary fix. So please just keep that in mind as I do this. We just want to get this route to have one option that kind of comes down here. Let's go, I think maybe along here and then right in there. Again, I know this is bad. No worries. We're going to make it better eventually, because I know that this is not the way that we would actually want to connect these things. There we go. But what that does now do is let us go either which way. So I don't really anticipate we're going to see too much traffic through here. The only thing I can really expect us seeing is potentially having some cargo go directly out of the city. I'm curious to see what types of trucks even really use this. Let's actually just speed this up. See if we see any trains or any actual cargo enter this train terminal. I highly doubt it personally, but we shall see. Yeah, I don't really see anyone doing that. Where are you actually going? You're just exporting metal products. You apparently don't want to export via this freight terminal. I understand. You're afraid. Trust me, it's okay. All right, this is interesting. This is all exporting, huh? Okay. Well, we will just let that happen for the moment and come back to it. We'll give them a better option. I think you'll be happy with our better option, but I don't know what it is yet, so we'll get there. Where did our stars go? There we go. Whew. All right, we worked hard for those stars. We're also getting pretty close. Obviously, our mineral mining element is kind of absurd. We just need a few more workers here, and we'll get there. We upset. Not enough buyers for products. I know. That's why you're exporting them, buddy. We should be okay. Yeah, a lot of these are not filled out all the way, so I think we can wait a little bit longer. I think that we're still seeing some natural growth here. Oh, all of you. We just have too much ore. Too much ore. can we potentially, whoops, I don't know where I'm going here, too early, expand one of these out? You said not enough raw materials, but you're asking for ore. Do we not have enough places to store ore? That could be a problem, potentially. You say there's not enough ore? Huh. All right. This is on empty. Let's just put it on balanced. See if that helps, maybe. Because there's a heck of a lot of ore over there in our sand storage. Do we need more storage over here? Because we could do that. Let's pop back over to our ore. What other storage options do we have? Ore industry maintenance? No, we don't need that. Ore storage. Literally says ore storage. Let's maybe put that over here. Sand storage and ore storage. It feels kind of weird to be storing or like bringing it all the way down here and storing it, right? Maybe that's the thing. Maybe we do need to put a little bit of storage actually in here too. I kind of loathe to do that. I don't think that makes a ton of sense to store too. I mean, if anything, actually, all right, here, let's restructure this a little bit. Let's bring this up here and just plop it somewhere in here. I don't really care. Let us move these because I think this is the actual problem here. Move some of these just down here. I don't really care. Again, we're just trying to get them out of the way for a little bit. Then we'll come grab them again. Let's put this up here instead. Turn anarchy off so that we're not going absolutely crazy. Move one of these back there. There we go. So now let's flip this over here. This over here. This can go over on this side now. Are all these are all large underground mines, and that's a small underground mine. Okay. Mine. Drop you right there. All right, and then I think we honestly just get rid of these two. It feels a little excessive, and they're getting mad at me anyways, so I think it's okay. All right, let's go. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. Let's grab the rocks. Just throw some extra ones over here. I think we're going to be in good shape. There we go. Okay. So again, does this look hyper realistic? Probably not, but that's okay. All right. So now we should have somewhere to actually put that ore that we've been talking so much about. I think balanced is okay. Maybe there was a problem because this was set to empty and it's selling the resources versus moving them to the places that need it. I'm not 100% sure. If you know more about the industry DLC than I do, please let me know because I have no idea what's going on. And this also has no ore products in it. So I'm almost wondering maybe we put like ore or something else in here. Unique factory products has nothing, and metals and glass is doing just fine because we're creating both metals and glass. But I assume the zoned industry ore products not count here. Can I just make it commercial zoned goods? Those generic industry areas turn products of specialized industries into goods. Okay, so maybe that will actually take our I don't know, whatever. Let's move it back to unique factory products. Oh, doesn't count. We wanted zone industry ore products. Okay, I think we're still okay. This has plenty of glass in it. Let's see, what are you carrying? Returning to the facility. That's good. What is it? Oh, okay. Do we have a rock in our road? Does anyone else see that? It's like, what's going on there? Let me destroy it. Nope. It's a mystery rock. You know what? Whatever. That's okay. All right. I don't think we've seen any train traffic so far, have we? Which one of these? There we go. That doesn't look good. Nope, 0 per week. Okay, at least we have it here. So let's connect up our second bit too. All right, we're coming over the river. You want to come over here? Okay. So I think this could be a little tricky. Let's see how this works. So I think we want to actually do one of these bridges, different bridge, right? But realistically, what I think we want to do is actually kind of carve right through here. I actually want to kind of take, first of all, let's not do that. I want to take the height that we're at here and actually use that to get across the rest of the river. So we're actually going to kind of tunnel through almost. I'm going to put it right I do want to be on that track, but I also want to acknowledge, again, straight slope. Kind of come out here. Okay, and then can we actually get across the river? That's a little bit too low, isn't it? All right, so let's do this instead. Again, across here. Only options are 2 or -1, apparently. I don't really understand why that's the case. Let's just straighten this out for a second, because I think it's going to make life a little bit easier. How high do we need to be to get across the river? Okay, that feels okay to me. It's actually too high. All right, what is this at? 29? All right, we'll pull it back. We'll do 20. Wow, we are just not going to get it, huh? Even with straight slope? All right, so let's do this instead, and then can we just force upgrade this part? What does that look like? That looks hideous. Okay. We were closer before. Let's see what we can do here. Come on, click everything but what I'm actually trying to click. All right. One more time with feeling. We're just gonna line up close here. Again, don't care too much. If you just run it straight through, see, that looks fine. So now, let's just do this. Come over here. Raise it. There we go. Actually, that looks not awful. I'm gonna actually keep raising it because there's a certain level that we do want to hit here. And then how can I get the next node in this line? Maybe I have to go under? Can I? No. It's gonna be really challenging to grab. Maybe I bet I can just do this, right? It's gonna let me grab that node. I wonder if that's just kind of the way this works. Let's flip this back so don't forget. Well, that's the worst case scenario of it going across the river that low. Let's try it, see what happens. All right, we're gonna use this one because I like it. We're straight sloping across, beautiful. Okay, now change it up, and we need to get over there. So let's duck down here, curve around, and kind of follow the same deal. Ooh, but the trick is we got, okay, well, let's curve around, and we're actually gonna go straight under, I think, again. So let's see if we can curve around here. And then we're gonna go straight, and we're gonna go under. Oh, that's gonna stretch out too much. Okay, so let's pull back on this a little bit. We actually want to get lower faster. Curve down here, and then let's turn anarchy off just so we're not going absolutely wild here. All right, so we're gonna go under here, curve out here. I think we start to come back up here. Perfect. I can curve right into here. Do a second one, curve right into. Anarchy back on. There we go. All right, so if you're trying to make this transition, let's give you some wiggle room here. Pull this just a little bit out. Oops. I want to totally lose it. Actually looks really cool. All right, so we'll come back over here. Give us a little bit of room to make our other connection. Ooh. That is weird looking. We'll come back to this. We're gonna have to come back to this because we do want to get this done this century. Okay, and then back this up. Oh, so annoying. There we go. Let's take this. I think. So we want to catch up here. There we go. All right, so let's see how this goes. So now, if we were on pause the whole time. This looks weird. I do not like this. Do not like that at all. Let's reslope this. That helps, but that's still pretty gross. Let's smooth this out just a little bit. All right, well, when in doubt, landscape it out, right? What trees do we have here? Do some small shrubberies. Oh. Something a little bit bigger than that. Fixed enough for me and looking at it. We'll come back to it. All right, so this is probably a little bit weird. What I'm seeing actually is that this bridge is freaking hideous. We're gonna have to deal with this bridge again at some point. But now we have our train connection right through here, and we're actually gonna probably curve right around, I think hold pretty tightly to the highway here and come around. And then we will have our full connection done. I'm looking forward to it personally. This train is probably way too close actually to this off ramp. So let's back this up. Kind of cut this corner a little bit. I don't want to lose too much space here, but this also would let us put in like a station potentially if we wanted to. So we have some options here. And connect right up here. Okay, so not too shabby. The thing is, we're actually gonna have to change a lot of this anyways, so I'm not too worried about it. But now we can basically get a train all the way in and out of the city just through here. Again, I also don't love this interchange. I think this is probably a little bit too harsh for a lot of trains. Let me see if I can just kind of bend this a little bit to get that track connection. There we go. All right, so now the test of this will be if we actually see any trains whatsoever using it. I'm still not 100% sure why that would or would not be the case here. You're exporting forestry products. How did we even get forestry products is my question. But hey, you're using it. All right, cool. There we go. You just kind of drove into a wall, but you know, can they do any cargo trucks now? Is that going to be... No. All right, well, we'll get there. One of these days. All right, well, thank you so much for joining me, folks. If you have thoughts on the railroad, please let me know. If you have more kind of railroad sculpting tools that you use, please, again, feel free to share your wisdom. And finally, too, if this looks incredibly unrealistic to you, if you have a better idea of how a train would get through a mountain like this, please let me know, because I think it's really interesting. This is some really fun terrain, but it's also, you know, really challenging. So we're gonna have to do the best we can. Ooh, this is what is going on here. That's not okay. All right, let's take just a few minutes and fix this. That's not good. All right. So what we're actually trying to do is hook up right around here, right? So we have to bring this up at some point to connect up here. All right. Still pretty bad, but we can slope this out and make this work. And actually here, so the real problem is not the slope. The real problem is that what we actually want to do here, let me pull this back even further, is actually kind of just go, I think, along here for a little bit, just to kind of provide that transition period. And now we want to kind of curve up here. Okay. Again, that is super, super steep, but what we're going to try to do is take all of these and just do a little bit more of a mega slope here. And I think that creates, it's steeper, it's a heavy grade, but I think it'll work a little bit better. And then, oh, whoops, now we're kind of doing a weird flop here. So let's take this, we're going to match it to object height. There we go. Okay, and then it does curve a little bit weirdly. Let's see if we can get that shaken out. There we go. Okay, so this is a bit more of what we were looking for here. And one of these days, we might even see a train come through here. Let's see if we can find one. We're gonna wait for it. Maybe we can have it happen. So clearly things are coming in and out of that station. So something's going on here. Yeah, you just drove in. I saw you. You just drove out. I saw you. All right, one of these days, we'll get there. I'm not gonna spend all this time waiting for him. I'm gonna be honest. And then how do we get this little branch off of our road? There we go. Okay, well, that's it. Again, thanks for joining me, folks. We'll catch up next time. But until then, take it easy. I'll see you soon.